Good evening, guys, and welcome to another episode of Cryptic Crypto, the channel that gives you daily updates on the crypto market. Today, I'm going to be discussing Altseason, some target pricing for Bitcoin as well as Ethereum, just giving you a general consensus of where I believe we're at. Looking at the crypto bubbles, to be fair, for the week, everything's green. On the daily, we've had quite a nice push on the majority of coins. Clanker, huge push. Tel, huge push. Sui, nice little push. XEN, nice little push. CRV, not bad. XLM, after absolutely pumping, has had a bit of a drop. But overall, it's been good, hasn't it, guys? So please like and subscribe if you like the content. And don't forget to hit that bell button. So let's get into it. So let's look at total market cap for the crypto market. Everyone's talking about all-time highs for Bitcoin. But we have literally just hit roughly 3.8 trillion from that perspective. This was our all-time high before at 3.73. We smashed that, came above it, and we've whipped back down. But I mean, for the fact that anyone that's not bullish, today was the first time ever that we have had 3.8 trillion in the market cap. I mean, that is huge. That's across obviously all crypto. Bitcoin's obviously quite a big driver in that, but that is pretty darn bullish. Everyone that's been bearish throughout for the last few weeks, get your bull hat on, because I'm here for a ride. Let's look at XEN. So XEN, beautiful, been showing this chart for a little while now. Like I said, you know, my first target is around that sort of 21 cents. No, 2.1 cents. That's my first target. And then coming up above that. These are my sort of short-term targets where I'm hoping we're going to get to sort of 7 or 8 cents. And to be honest with you, everything is lining up incredibly well. We've had, we're kind of in the overbought territory, to be fair, from that perspective, or beginning to get into from XEN. But as you can see, from an RSI perspective, we are pushing really well, to be fair, from that perspective. And XEN is looking incredibly bullish for all my XEN holders out there. Fingers crossed you've been following some of the videos and, you know, looking out at some of these trades where obviously, you know, as soon as we flipped above this, I sent that out to everyone. We then pushed it all the way up, and it looks like we should hit, hopefully soon, within the week, the 0.618. July is looking very bullish for all you altcoin holders out there. And again, breaking down in terms of the Bitcoin dominance, look, this is a bearish wedge here coming up with the yellow line. We've also got, you know, some smaller sort of support and resistance lines we've got here. Look, we've been tapping it consistently, to be fair. We really want to break down. It's going to get ultra bullish around 50 odd percent, but 61 is where I'm beginning to think, my God, we're going to absolutely rip. Now, looking at the Bitcoin chart, to be fair, wherever I put it, sorry guys, there we are. Looking at the Bitcoin chart, look, we've hit all-time highs today. We hit 123. Looking at these fibs, to be honest with you, I'm looking at 157,000, which I believe is roughly a 50% increase, which if you looked at all the pumps we've had before, consistently, that's where we've been at. If we take the very bottom of this bull flag here, I'm pretty sure it'll be around, hopefully. It's always awkward when you're trying to do something. But yeah, about, get up there. Yeah, about 50%, 48.7%. And when we look at the fibs, that's where it's kind of letting us go, like in terms of where we're expecting the market to go. And to be honest with you, a lot of people I'm seeing it consistently. People are going like, cool, are we going to come back down? Are we going to come back down? Because I want to buy below 100k. Now, I personally, you know, I'd love that to happen, but I don't see that happening right now, to be honest with you. Look, if you look at any of these pumps before, everyone down here at 67,000 was going like, oh God, it's pumping. I'm going to buy it again when it gets below 70. It didn't get below 70 again. Not until months after. Well, even then, didn't go below 70 at all. We pumped up, we consolidated, we pumped a little bit more. We thought it was a bull flag. No, it wasn't. Cool. That's a bearish wedge there. Came out. Bull flag, fantastic. And up we went again. look, I don't think until we obviously go into a bear cycle that we're going to get below 100 grand again. Now I could eat my words, but everything, like in terms of if we look at what we've done in the past, all the way back, to 2023 really, or 2024, like you can see, once we break out, we generally consolidate, but we do not go back to all-time, the lows of the previous push to the upside. And Bitcoin is coming out for me at around about 157 for my short-term play. Now, where does that leave, in terms of Ethereum? Cool. We have been knocking on this sloping line of resistance now. We've wicked above it. We keep coming back down. We've wicked above it. We keep coming back down. We've tried breaking it 1, 2, 3, 4 times now. And ultimately, we've got a lot of support around this sort of $2,500. Once we do that, we are going to push to the upside. So where does that leave me in terms of a pricing perspective? And where do I view that's going to happen? Well, it's quite easy to look at where we think those targets should be if we break it down into the fibs. Look, people probably think I'm crazy going, one of my targets is 5,800, another target is $8,500, 11,000, 12,968. I generally believe with enough momentum and breaking through the sloping line of resistance, where again, if you look at the fibs, we are testing 0.618 right now. We are literally at that line, about to break above it. If we do, I generally think, because altcoin seasons generally don't last huge amount of times. You're talking 4 or 6 weeks, generally. 4 weeks to sort of 12 weeks in terms of total, and that's where everyone's making their money. And right when we reach the absolute peak of euphoria, where we are not at yet, that's generally when the market begins to sink. And we need to be looking at things like the Bitcoin 50-day moving average, and when we break below that, at the moment, Bitcoin price is just going up and up and up from that perspective. And I think these fib levels of a target 157,000 for Bitcoin and a target of 12,968 as a long term, like this bull cycle, I'd be over the moon. But would I be taking profits at 8,500? Of course. Will I be taking profits at 11,000? Of course. And if we get there at 12,968, I will be over the moon, and so should you guys, because we break down some of the trades from the 500 to 5,000, which we've only been doing for what, a total of, I don't even know what, a total of like 2 weeks now. We started off with $500. We are now over 1,500. So we have 3x'd our total equity during this trade. With still plays out there, we have CRV, which is 1,185% up from the trade that we started. And this is because, look, we've got a lot of trades open. The market can come back down, like that. That's to be expected, a bit of volatility. Even if we break down and look at Ethereum, look, we were up to $3,000. We're now back at 2,995. Looks like that's a really key level of resistance, and we need to print on the daily above this line. If we do, that's incredibly bullish for altcoins, because a lot of people refer to Ethereum as the queen and Bitcoin as the king, and the queen is the one that leads all the troops, all your altcoins across your army across there. And that's what we want from kind of XCN. When we actually look at XCN here, all those degens, look, we're at having a bit of a pullback on the 4 hourly right now, but as you can see, if we look at the daily, and it's always important to zoom out to actually see, like, cool, what is the general play, we are having a good move to the upside. If we look at CRV, one I do want to talk about is Telcoin, to be fair. Hopefully this is the chart. Yeah, look, if we look at Telcoin, which I am ultra bullish on, and please guys, hit the like button if you want me to do a Telcoin, or just put Tel in the comments. If you want me to do one on Tel and where we're getting at, please put that in the comments. Look, from a midterm, I'm targeting sort of 4 cents, and we're at, half a cent at the moment. We broke out this line of resistance. We're pushing to the upside. My next target is what? Pretty much a cent, and then up from there. I'm happy with that, guys. This was a coin that I got into a long time ago, and I'm pretty happy with where we've been going here. And as you can see from all these weird and wonderful lines and shapes, I've been obviously trading this for quite some time. Now, that's from the chart perspective, guys, and that's from where we are in terms of that. Other than Ethereum, Bitcoin, for anyone that knows, this is obviously a bullish pennant here. Once we break this line of resistance, we're going to be looking at only moving up forwards. And if any of you guys have watched my Bitcoin pairing video, you'll know that ultimately we want our altcoins to be performing better than Bitcoin. If it's not, you might as well just have Bitcoin, because you want those trades. You want like Bitcoin 0.6% today, Clanker 22.6, Tel 16.2, Sui 9.3. That's what you want to see. Even XRP with 2.7% up, and we actually hit the $3. We've come back down, I believe. If we have a look at the XRP chart from please XRP, please break, and it did. But look, we smashed through to about $3.04. We've gone above the 0.618 fib line. We could retest this and bounce back up, but it's looking pretty bullish from a volume perspective and a rhetoric in terms of the market. Because again, if you are not bullish on crypto right now, I do not know what you are doing. Because Eleanor Terrett, for those that don't know, follow her. She's always got some really good news and often breaks it about a party. But the big three bank regulators at US OCC, the Federal Reserve, and FDIC Gov just issued joint guidance on how banks should approach custody of crypto assets. This guidance doesn't create new roles, but reaffirms that banks must apply existing risk management, legal and compliance frameworks when holding crypto on behalf of customers. I mean, the big three banks are literally meeting or banking regulators are literally meeting, discussing how banks can store your crypto. And if you think they're not going to do it, like BlackRock, where are they making all their money at the moment? On crypto ETFs. I love credible crypto. Absolutely love this geezer. CRV will be at $2 to $3 faster than most are expecting right now. Well, I hope so, because I've got a number of trades and I hold a large bag. So fingers crossed that does happen. But the fact that banks are literally investing in crypto right now, and the fact that we hit 3.8 trillion from a market cap today, which is the highest ever, and the fact that on the altcoin season index, we're pumped above this line where it's thoroughly Bitcoin season. I'm not saying we're going to get an altcoin season, but there's a lot of good news out there for all your altcoins. And this is not financial advice. Do your own research, like and subscribe, and think about, what investments and what are you willing to lose? Because ultimately it could all go to zero. My thought process is that's not going to be the case. That's why I've got a number of low leverage trades open on here on KuCoin. That's why I'm consistently looking at the market. That's why I'm entering trades when we break key levels of resistance. That's why I'm using fibs, RSI, MACD, and a number of other tools at my disposal, as well as macro news on the internet to help me make those decisions. But again, look, we are at 33. We haven't been there since May. Not a lot really happened in May from that perspective, or March. And again, we could just literally be going up and down. But if we go back to December, and we go back to, November, December, and January, look, this was big pumps for XRP and for a number of altcoins, Sui, etc. and so on. If that happens again, your coins will pump, and Bitcoin price can remain the same. That doesn't matter. Or Bitcoin price can drag the market up by increasing on price. And again, look at this interest over time. Look, guys, if people are searching for Bitcoin now on a daily basis, it's beginning to increase. There's, even I'm getting it. I'm having more people ask me about crypto now than I did, 3 months ago, 2 months ago, etc. It's still not like where we were, back in January, where everyone's like, oh my God, look at the market, things are beginning to pump, happy days, and Bitcoin's at its all-time high. Okay, like we've lost a bit of it, and this one kills me. I just wanted to show this because Bitcoin, please, I'm trying to work, and this is how I know a number of you feel. Anyone that's holding crypto, you know, I have these charts that often I have to remove the alarms from because they wake me up and I'm like, oh my god, what's happening? Do I need to alter my trades? You know, and that's why it's so important to have stop losses and other things there. But you know, this absolutely killed me because there's so many of you out there that I'm sure doing exactly the same. When the market is bullish, when things are beginning to move to the upside, you know, when you know XEN has broken out and TEL is smashing it, all of you are probably checking your phones, checking your apps consistently. I know I am. You know, I'm not going to lie. Like when, you know, but that's what I do a lot of the time. Is you know, I trade. You know, this is something I've been doing for a number of years, and you know, you in alt seasons or when liquidity begins to enter the alt market, you only have a short amount of time to make some real money. So it's really important that you are, you know, setting up your charts, making sure you're aware of where you are. When we go into another consolidation phase, looking at what that looks like, setting price targets, looking at buys, and doing your own research to make sure that you are comfortable with the risk that you have. And like I said, guys, this is just a short market update where we're at in terms of everything else. If you do want me to do any of them below, oh, to be fair, one guy did ask me to have a look at H-bar. Why not? Let's have a little look at H-bar. Short H-bar. I'm going to have to do it on the next video. On my next video, I promise I will cover X-bar. H-bar. I do have a bit of H-bar. It's not my biggest bag, if I'm honest. But I'm happy to, you know, highlight some kind of price targets. Like I said, headlines for me is I do believe that Ethereum could go to 12,000. I do believe that Bitcoin could go to like 157 in the near time. On from there is something that I'd have to look at the charts again. But hopefully you've enjoyed this. Hopefully it was informative. And yeah, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Really want to get to the 300 followers. We've only been live for 2 weeks now and appreciate your time. Have a lovely weekend. Peace.